You know that feeling when you're staring at a blank page or maybe wading through just a sea of text and suddenly everyone's talking about AI writing
Oh
tools.
yeah, information overwhelm is definitely a thing.
We actually got a fantastic set of sources from a listener diving deep into two popular ones you might have heard of, QuillBot and Undetectable AI.
And the world of AI tools is just exploding, isn't it? It feels like there's a new one claiming to be the magic bullet, like every other day.
Right. So this deep dive, it's all about cutting through that noise. We're going to unpack these AI writing assistants, specifically looking at their strength, their maybe quirks, and perhaps most importantly right now, how they tackle the hot topic of AI detection.
Yeah, that's a big one. And our sources lay out a really clear picture of what each tool is designed to do.
Absolutely. So our mission today for you listening is to figure out what these tools actually do, where they shine, how they differ, and help you think about which one, or maybe even a combination, might be the best fit for what you need to get done. Okay, let's unpack this and maybe have a little fun doing it.
Sounds good. Let's dive in by just defining our players. What exactly are these tools? First up, QuillBot. Our sources describe it as a really popular, quite robust writing assistant.
Okay.
Think of it as your go-to for improving your writing quality, making it clearer, more polished, and helping with originality, mostly by giving your text a good rephrasing.
Yeah, it feels like it's built to just make your existing text better. And it's super user-friendly, right? You paste stuff in and it helps you tweak it.
Precisely. According to the sources, its core capabilities include a grammar checker to zap those pesky errors,
It's always useful.
a plagiarism detection tool to make sure you're not accidentally copying, and a summarizer to condense long articles into bite-sized pieces.
And it's not static either. One source mentioned it actually learns from data and adjusts suggestions based on how you interact with it. A little AI assistant learning your style, huh?
That adaptability is a great point. And a huge part of QuillBot is its paraphraser tool. The sources detail 7 unique modes it offers.
7. Wow. That gives you a lot of flexibility.
It really does. They range from standard for general rewrites, fluency to make text read smoothly, formal for professional documents, academic for that scholarly tone,
Okay.
simple to simplify dense language, creative for a more imaginative spin, and then expand or shorten for length adjustments.
So whatever your writing goal is, maybe you need to sound more formal or just make something easier to read,
Yeah,
you can pick a mode for that specific objective. Makes sense.
exactly. Now, regarding AI detection, one source notes QuillBot aims to transform text so it's not easily flagged by copy detection systems. But here's where the sources start to show some different results.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, some report it as almost undetectable, while others found it flagged as fully AI generated. Bit of a mixed bag there, just based on its core function.
Okay, got it. QuillBot, the helpful writing enhancer with lots of options for polish. Now let's shift gears to undetectable AI. This sounds like a different beast entirely.
It is. Undetectable AI is described as a highly specialized tool. Its explicit stated goal is to make AI-generated text sound more human, specifically to avoid detection systems.
Ah, so it's not primarily about general improvement. It's built with evasion in mind from the ground up.
That's the fundamental difference highlighted by the sources. Its main mission is humanizing text to bypass AI detectors.
Right.
The sources mention it uses advanced techniques, sometimes even described as deception tactics, which could involve things like intentionally introducing minor grammatical or punctuation errors.
Wait, really?
Yeah, to mimic the imperfections you often find in human writing.
That's kind of wild, making mistakes on purpose to seem more human. It feels a bit like a digital spy trying to blend in.
It certainly highlights the focus, and this is where our sources really draw the line. QuillBot is for general writing enhancement and polishing your prose, whereas Undetectable AI is purpose-built for detection evasion. And honestly, this is where it gets really interesting,
Mm.
especially when you look at the test results.
It truly does, because with the explosion of AI detectors, and you hear about them everywhere, like GPT-0, Turnitin, Originality.ai, figuring out if your text is going to get flagged has become a major concern for many people using AI assistants.
Absolutely. And this is where our sources conducted some fascinating head-to-head tests, essentially putting these tools into a detection showdown.
Okay, spill it. How did QuillBot fare against these detectors?
Based on the sources, and this is a key insight, QuillBot is generally not effective for bypassing leading AI detectors.
Hmm.
It wasn't designed with this specific challenge in mind. Its paraphrasing, while good for clarity and originality in a general sense, often isn't sophisticated enough. Advanced detectors look beyond simple word swaps. They analyze things like sentence complexity patterns and overall structure patterns that basic rephrasing doesn't fully disrupt.
And the test numbers really underscore this, right? Did they give specifics?
They do. One source noted that text processed by QuillBot was flagged as 83% likely to be AI by QuillBot's own internal detector.
Ouch, by its own tool.
Yep. And in other independent tests, like one detailed in a YouTube source using originality.ai, QuillBot's output was detected as 100% AI.
Wow, 100%. So the takeaway from these sources is quite clear. QuillBot, despite its other strengths, is not a reliable tool if your goal is to bypass sophisticated AI detection.
That's the critical point the sources make. Now let's look at undetectable AI. Remember, this tool was built for this specific problem.
And the results? Did it live up to the hype?
According to the sources, its performance is dramatically different. Because it's designed for this purpose, it doesn't just swap words. It aims to comprehensively rewrite the text, removing that telltale AI flavor by adding variability and a more human-like cadence that detectors struggle to pinpoint.
Do the sources give us hard numbers on that comparison, like side by side?
Yes, the Gold Penguin source did some great testing here. Across multiple tests, undetectable AI's output averaged an AI likelihood score of an astonishingly low 0.14%.
0.14%. Seriously?
Yeah. Compare that to QuillBot in the same tests, which averaged 71.21%.
That's a staggering difference. Less than 1% AI likelihood versus over 70%. That really highlights the specialization we talked about earlier.
It absolutely demonstrates that undetectable AI, based on these sources, has vastly superior capabilities when it comes to evading detection. Sources claim it can successfully bypass major detectors like copy leaks and Turnitin.
Wow.
It's truly the cat-and-mouse game analogy from one source playing out. Detectors get smarter, and humanizers evolve to keep pace.
And even with undetectable AI, there's a small caveat mentioned, right? Sometimes it might need more than one pass or something.
That's right. The YouTube test showed that one undetectable AI output initially registered as 76% AI, but a second humanized pass dropped it significantly to 38%.
Okay, so not always perfect on the first try, but still a huge improvement.
Exactly. So, while highly effective, no tool guarantees 100% future-proofing in this rapidly changing landscape.
So, if making sure your text flies under the radar of AI detectors is your main concern, the sources strongly suggest undetectable AI is the tool designed for that job, much more so than QuillBot.
That seems to be the consensus drawn from the testing and descriptions provided across the sources. Whether you're working on academic papers, online content, or just want your text to sound genuinely human, understanding these tools is key.
Makes sense.
And, if this sounds like something you need, you can explore options, including subscribing to Undetectable AI or QuillBot directly. We'll have links in the podcast description for more information on all the tools we're discussing today.
Great reminder. It really simplifies the choice when you see the data laid out like that. It's about picking the right tool for the right problem you're trying to solve.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked detection, which is huge, but what about the quality of the text itself? How does the actual output read from these tools? Is it, good writing?
That's a crucial question. QuillBot's output, generally speaking, is described as polished, clean, and grammatically correct. It tends to maintain the original meaning effectively, particularly when you're using modes like standard or fluency.
So it sounds pretty professional.
Yeah, one source even called its output flawless in this specific example. It often acts like a proofreader, cleaning up grammatical issues in your input text.
So it takes your draft and makes it sound smarter and more correct, like a good editor.
Precisely. Undetectable AI's output has a different objective, remember. It's aiming for human-like and undetectable. And, as one source pointed out, this might mean it introduces subtle variations or even those intentional grammatical imperfections we mentioned earlier.
Like in that example with the lavender description in the Gold Penguin source. I remember reading that.
Exactly. That example is really telling because undetectable AI's output had some small grammar and punctuation mistakes. But the source frames this not as a bug, but potentially a feature.
A feature.
Yeah, presenting the idea that mistakes make us human and are necessary to trick detectors. While it uses synonym replacement, its focus is more on reworking sentence structure to break those predictable AI patterns.
So there's a definite trade-off here, and it's a pretty big insight. QuillBot prioritizes grammatical perfection and polishing your text, making it sound textbook correct. Undetectable AI prioritizes being undetectable, which could mean sacrificing some of that perfect polish and potentially requiring more proofreading from you afterward.
That's the crucial distinction based on their design goals.
Yeah.
Undetectable AI is willing to look a little less perfect on the surface if it means achieving that deeper human-like unpredictability.
Right.
One interesting feature it offers, though, mentioned in the sources, is writing level matching.
What does that do? Does it like grade your work or something?
No, not quite. It can adjust the rewrite to match a specific reading level or tone.
Oh,
So instead of just spitting out generic human-like text, it can try to make the content sound like you would write it, or like a specific persona would.
mm.
This is particularly useful, say, for a student who wants to use AI for research, but needs the final output to sound like their writing style, not perfect AI prose.
So it adds another layer of personalization beyond just being undetectable. That makes a lot of sense. Keep things consistent.
Exactly. It helps maintain stylistic consistency, which is another marker of human writing.
Okay, beyond the core paraphrasing and humanization, what else do these tools bring to the table? Any other handy features we should know about?
QuillBot positions itself more as a comprehensive writing toolkit. In addition to the paraphraser, the sources list its grammar checker, the plagiarism checker.
Right.
Though remember that one source noted its accuracy can sometimes be questionable and even misidentify human text, so maybe use that with a grain of salt.
Go caveat.
And it also has the summarizer and a citation generator. Plus, it has convenient integrations for browsers like Chrome and document editors like Word.
So if you're looking for an all-in-one writing helper, QuillBot seems to pack in more general features. Kind of a Swiss Army knife.
Correct. Undetectable AI's additional features are more streamlined and focused on its core purpose. The sources mentioned the writing level matching feature we discussed, API compatibility for developers, and a Chrome extension. Its feature set is simpler, more specialized.
It feels like Undetectable AI is saying, we do this one thing, humanization and evasion, and we really focus on doing that well.
That's certainly how the sources portray their difference in scope. One source also briefly mentioned another tool, Word Spinner, as a comparison point.
Oh.
Yeah, noting its high level of customization with many templates compared to QuillBot, and claiming its output is humanized with a unique style. So there are definitely other players out there carving out niches.
Always more tools. It never ends. But focusing back on our main two for a moment, let's talk about the practical side that matters to everyone. The cost. How do the prices stack up?
Good question. Both tools offer free options or trials, but for full power, you're generally looking at a subscription.
Give us the lowdown on QuillBot's pricing from the sources. What's the deal there?
Okay, QuillBot has a limited free version constraints on word count for paraphrasing, like maybe 125 words, fewer modes available, and a limit on the summarizer, around 1,200 words.
So enough to try it out.
Exactly. Premium unlocks everything. The monthly premium price varies slightly across sources, maybe around $19.95, or one source mentioned closer to $9.99. Semi-annually is around $13.33 a month. But the best value, consistently noted across the sources, is the annual plan.
Ah, the yearly deal.
Right. That can bring the effective monthly cost down significantly, anywhere from around $8.33, $5, or even $4.17 a month, depending on the source and specific offer you find.
So committing for a year makes a big difference in the cost per month. That's pretty standard.
Definitely. The annual plan is presented as the most cost-effective. Undetectable AI, on the other hand, doesn't appear to have a full free tier, but offers a trial, maybe for a few hundred words, like 250, so you can test its core function.
And their subscription structure, how does that work?
The monthly cost is noted around $9.99 or maybe $14.99, depending on the source, and importantly, the word volume tier you need.
Ah, tiered pricing.
Yeah. Like QuillBot, the annual plan offers better value, potentially bringing the monthly cost down to around $5 a month. But again, this depends on the specific plan details and word volume you select.
So while monthly prices differ a bit, the annual subscription costs for their premium tiers seem to be in a somewhat similar ballpark, maybe around $5, $10 a month effectively, depending on the plan size.
That's correct. And it's worth keeping in mind, as one source points out, that even if you use these tools, you might still need separate AI detection services, like Originality.ai, which operate on a credit basis. That adds another potential cost if you need to verify your text independently.
Good point. Factor that in. Okay, so we've thoroughly covered QuillBot, the general writing assistant, and Undetectable AI, the detection specialist. But one of the sources throws another interesting player into the ring.
Ah, yes, GPThuman.ai. This tool, as discussed in that specific source, is positioned as a potential step up, maybe even a superior alternative to both QuillBot and Undetectable AI,
Oh, really?
particularly for generating highly human-like text that reliably bypasses detectors.
Okay, intrigued. What are its big claims, according to that source? What makes it supposedly better?
Well, it claims a higher level of natural language quality, that its output sounds genuinely human. It focuses more on capturing tone and voice, even emphasizing elements like soul and emotion.
Soul and emotion. Wow.
Yeah, aiming for content that truly sounds like authentically you.
That sounds like a high bar. And what about its bold claim regarding detection? That's the key part.
This is where the source gets very specific and bold. GPTHuman.ai claims a 100% AI detector bypass guarantee.
100% guaranteed.
That's the claim. It's presented as the only AI humanizer that bypasses all premium AI detectors, specifically naming tough ones like Turnitin, GPT-0, and Originality.ai.
A 100% guarantee in this rapidly evolving detection landscape is quite the statement. How does this source say it achieves that? What's the magic?
The source claims it works by completely rewriting the text, using powerful large language models like GPT-4 or Claude, rather than just tweaking the original words or sentence structure.
Okay, a full rewrite.
Right. And crucially, it claims to achieve this bypass while maintaining quality and without resorting to intentionally adding weird grammar or errors just to trick detectors.
So according to this source, it aims to offer both top-tier quality and guaranteed undetectability in one package. The best of both worlds, supposedly.
That's how it's presented. The source also suggests its capabilities might extend beyond just rewriting, potentially generating new content with that same claimed human-like, undetectable quality.
So based on that source, it positions itself as a potential single solution that covers academic writing, detection bypass, and SEO needs, claiming to outperform others in all areas.
Interesting. It seems to be trying to hit the sweet spot between the polished QuillBot offers and the undetectable AI is built for, but with a higher claimed level of success and that strong guarantee. Definitely one to watch based on that report.
Wow. Okay. So pulling all of this together now, what does this whole landscape mean for you, the listener, trying to pick the right tool for your needs? It feels a bit complicated.
The clearest message from the sources is this. Your choice depends entirely on what you need the tool to do. There's no single best tool. It's about the best for your task.
Let's simplify it. If your main goal is general writing improvement, polishing text, improving clarity, fixing grammar, paraphrasing to avoid basic plagiarism, making your writing sound more professional or creative, QuillBot is presented as a fantastic feature-rich tool for that.
Right, absolutely.
Hmm.
But, and this is a big caveat based on the test results, if your primary concern is making AI-generated content appear human and bypassing advanced AI detectors, QuillBot is shown in the sources to be less reliable for that specific task.
Right. So if detection evasion is your non-negotiable requirement, then undetectable AI is highlighted as the tool explicitly built for that purpose and shown in tests to be far more effective at it than QuillBot.
Its specialization in humanization and evasion makes it the go-to if beating detectors is the goal, though remember the output might sometimes require a little extra proofreading to achieve perfect polish. Trade-offs.
And if the claims about GPT-Human.ai in that one source hold true, that tool could be a powerful option if you absolutely need guaranteed undetectability and consistently highly natural human-sounding output without sacrificing quality.
It's positioned as potentially offering both premium quality and that robust bypass guarantee, according to that source.
And one source wisely points out you don't have to pick just one. You could potentially use a combination, maybe use AI to draft your initial ideas, QuillBot to help structure and polish the overall flow, and then undetectable AI or potentially GPT-Human.ai for the final humanization pass to ensure it avoids detection if that's necessary. Your workflow can totally be customized.
Definitely. Thinking about your specific task and priorities is absolutely key.
And let's not forget the ethical note touched upon in the sources. These tools are designed to assist your writing, to make it better or more efficient, not to enable academic dishonesty or misrepresenting who wrote something.
That's so important. Using them responsibly to enhance your own work is the principle here. They're tools for augmenting your capabilities, not replacing your integrity.
Well said. So, whether you're trying to write clear emails, craft engaging content, or navigate the complex world of AI detection, understanding the distinct purposes and proving capabilities of tools like QuillBot and Undetectable AI, and keeping an eye on newer players like GPTHuman.ai is essential to making an informed choice.
Absolutely.
Whether you prioritize polish, detection evasion, or that claimed guarantee of undetectability, there's a tool out there designed to help. And remember, you can check out the links we've included in the podcast description to subscribe to Undetectable AI or QuillBot, or learn more about the other tools mentioned.
It really is a fascinating, rapidly evolving space tailored to very specific needs.
Wow, what a landscape of tools. It's clear the world of AI writing assistants isn't one size fits all. Different tools are built for different jobs, sometimes very specific ones. Understanding the nuances between them, like is it designed to polish your words or to, you know, duck and weave past detectors,
Yeah.
is absolutely key to picking the right assistant for whatever writing challenge you're facing.
It really highlights how specialized AI technology is becoming, doesn't it?
It really does. And honestly, as AI detectors get sharper and these humanizers get more sophisticated, it makes you think, where does that leave our traditional ideas of original content and human writing? It raises a really interesting question, I think. How will this ongoing tech race between detection and humanization change the very way we think about authorship and creativity in the future?
That is a profound question. The definition itself seems to be right in the middle of a shift, doesn't it?
Something for all of us to ponder as we navigate and use these fascinating and sometimes frustrating tools. That wraps up this deep dive.
Until next time.